There are a lot of black and brown people who are very concerned about climate change too. However, it's a little bit hard for us to get all the way up the mountain on that when the cops keep shooting us, right? So like I also would like to make sure that I only have paper straws and not plastic straws. But when I'm going to the grocery store, my first concern is like surviving the cops between my house and the store, not so much the straws I'm going to buy at the store, right? So, and I say I'm being a little bit jokey, but the important thing to understand is that like because of what white supremacy does in this country and does to its victims, it is hard to recalibrate and rebalance around other issues when you constantly feel under attack. Non-white Americans, there are a lot of them, and you're not going to get climate change happening, significant climate change proposal without their support. And one of the ways to free up their support is to free up their time by stop electing white supremacist people. That's number one, right? Number two is that so much of kind of interpersonal racism also plays itself out as environmental racism, right? The communities most likely to get flooded, to get droughted, to get whatever, are communities of color. We are the communities that don't get the resources for the environmental protections that we need, right? You were talking about how you've had on Mustafa Santiago Ali. He talks a lot about the intersection of environmental racism and white supremacy and how that combines to keep people of color down. And so one example that he said to me, I think when I was on TV, was when it was when the hurricane was coming and it was going to maybe hit Houston, and so they were kind of thinking about evacuating people. Right. It turned out to be kind of a dud of a hurricane, but they were talking about evacuating people, and Mustafa was saying about how people are actually, because this was when Trump was threatening to do all the raids, that black and brown citizens in Houston were locked in Houston because they were afraid of leaving Houston to take shelter from the storm, because if they left, they might get picked up by ICE and not be able to go back home. So that the combination of white supremacy with environmental factors is actually part of the huge problem.